Previously on the Merge podcast.
Might be early, but the key takeaway is don't take on the in-laws at them.
Who's sitting on the front seat?
Yeah, who's in the front seat?
Come on, moms, get it back, get it back. Sit on the back, sit on the back. If your husband was driving, I would have jumped in the back.
Yeah.
You go in front, but if
Mommy and she arthritis knees.
But
okay, well that's something different.
But no, something.
Who in the family wants to exit the control of power? You see, when a wedding is being planned, oh mate, it could go down. I don't find that should be centerpiece.
Yeah.
I don't like how I'm looking there. I don't really good with that caterer, my friends. Whoa. Thank you for your suggestion. I'll consult with my wife to be and get back to you. That is because well, you know, Mom say that we should. Okay, Mom sent a suggestion. Okay, well, we will talk about it.
Yeah.
Depending on how
things are done differently in families, and sometimes people, you have these little competitions. This is how we do it, and that's why
a problem there. We have a problem.
you do have changes happening. You are moving from one family. Yes, you have made a decision, but when you marry, you really marry. It's families marry each other, right? It's that connection. Before you get married, hey, pick up your boxers from on the floor, right? You eat. And then your parent now has to respect that you have a husband who is the priest of your home, right? And this priest, just last week he told them about putting the wares and boxers and that, right? I always say, don't begin something that you don't want to continue.
Previously on the Merge podcast.
Might be early, but the key takeaway is don't take on the in-laws at them.
Who's sitting on the front seat?
Yeah, who's in the front seat?
come on, moms, get it back, get it back. Sit on the back, sit on the back. If your husband was driving, I would have jumped in the back.
Yeah.
You go in front, but if
Mommy and she arthritis knees.
But
okay, well that's something different.
But no, something.
Who in the family wants to exit the control of power? You see, when a wedding is being planned, oh mate, it could go down. I don't find that should be centerpiece.
Yeah.
I don't like how I'm looking there. I don't really good with that caterer, my friends. Whoa. Thank you for your suggestion. I'll consult with my wife to be and get back to you. That is because well, mom say that we should, okay, mom sent a suggestion, okay, well, we will talk about it. Depending on how
Things are done differently in families, and sometimes people, you have these little competitions. This is how we do it, and that's why
a problem there. We have a problem.
you do have changes happening. You are moving from one family. Yes, you have made a decision, but when you marry, you really marry. It's families marry each other, right? It's that connection. Before I get married, hey, pick up your boxers from on the floor, right? You eat, and then your parent now has to respect that you have a husband who is the priest of your home, right? And this priest, just last week you told them about putting the wears and boxers and that, right? I always say, don't begin something that you don't want to continue.
Well, we want to continue, and we are here continuing part 2 of how to deal with the in-laws. Welcome back to the Merge podcast.
Welcome, and we thank you so much for joining us. And we are happy to be here. We're happy that you have joined us, and wherever you are joining us from, we just want to say good evening, good morning, good night, happy Sabbath, and everything in between.
And guys, so all those who locked on, let me see, approximately 9 persons locked on so far. Like, subscribe, share it with all your family, bombard the chat that person that you ain't talked to for the year. Send them that and say happy Sabbath taking this content, right? So thank you once again for joining us, guys, on part 2. Yeah. How to deal with the in-laws. David, how things since the last podcast? Since the last podcast, normal. A couple of people try to stone me on the streets. I'm just joking. But things are normal now. People always ask me, David, you are not married. Why are you giving married people advice? Listen, first of all, this is free. This is free YouTube, okay? Right? So they ain't paying me. Right?
So that means that they take anything that they get?
No, that don't mean that take, but they're making too much demands on me.
Oh, right. Okay.
And the questions that I can't get is stressing now, Jayden. And the questions that I can't answer, you need to go back and stand and do it. Right? But yeah, I'll try to give the best advice that I know as possible from my perspective as a single. Yeah, definitely. And I think we are represented well in terms of relationships, because you have persons getting into relationships like yourself, singles, persons, with that trajectory in front of them. You have persons who are married, so you have the two sides of it. And definitely dealing with a topic like this, you want to know about this before you get married. A lot of information you really should get before you get married. But and don't wait until they get married then to try to figure out how to deal with the in-laws, because you'll be a ball behind the play. So you want to get ahead as much as possible, as much information as possible. And you have to use your common sense to sort through the information. Because on the internet have a lot of people talking. And you have to be wise enough to say, this making sense or this isn't making sense. So so we encourage everybody again to share this. Let's, as they say, build up the life. All 12 of us here who are on the platform, we're happy to be here. We are happy to do part 2. Kareina, persons have been telling us how they would have been really blessed by part 1, and you all asked for part 2, and so we're here again bringing part 2 to you.
We listen to the people.
We listen to the people. We had a voice note from some supporters who really were impacted by part 1 of this program. Someone actually told us that they sat with their spouse, looked at the program, and it impacted their marriage significantly. And these are the testimonies that really keeps us going. And this is what we're here for. We're here for it. And so we're here for part 2 again. So buckle up, guys. We're going to get straight into part 2 of this series. Now, part 1, we dealt with the perspective of the child-in-law, for want of a better phrase. So the son-in-law, the daughter-in-law, and how in-laws can impact them, how the monster-in-law concept of mommy coming and interfering, the father-in-law interfering in relationships and causing havoc, and some of the challenges that comes with that. Today, we are going to deal with the perspective
of the mother or father-in-law,
Okay.
of the parents-in-law, because I am sure they have a good perspective. All of them are mad just so. You understand? They don't just be living the life out there and say, I want to destroy my children's future. So there must be some rational reason for us to unearth, to discover what goes into it, because people not just malicious. In spite of the fact that we may feel the negative side of things, I don't think everybody just malicious.
And-
just
You mean?
Yeah.
Okay, you mean people, some persons might feel as, okay, my mother or father, they just fighting me down.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And like, I mean, if you are an in-law, a mother-in-law or a father-in-law, and you want to give your perspective, feel free. If you are brave enough, you can share it in the chat from your perspective, or if you want to message us, you can do so private message on any one of our WhatsApp. If you know us, any one of our WhatsApp numbers, just to let us know from your perspective, because we want to find out, you know, what makes a person tick or want to be involved in a relationship like that. Or if you are a good mother-in-law, father-in-law, tell us from your perspective also. You know, we want to hear the good and the not so good.
Guys, if we tell you the truth, when we finished the podcast last month, we sat down together and we was like, we need to get a recovered mother-in-law, a recovered monster-in-law on the program.
Yes, we do.
And we
We
still taking volunteers.
Yes, we did. Nobody was so brave enough. So,
Yeah, we didn't get anyone. But we want to hear the perspective of the parent-in-law who may have made some missteps in their life, and you know we want to hear their perspective, what caused that to happen. Nevertheless, we're going to delve into it, and we have again, y'all called for her, y'all really enjoyed her presentations last time. We have Kizzy King Chapman as our guru. She will be coming on shortly in the next segment. And with her here in the studio is her beloved husband, who's messaging in the chat here right now.
I don't know why you don't just talk and say what you gotta say.
Yeah. You know, so we have Kane Chapman and Kizzy Chapman in studio, of course, behind all that we do, powering everything, powered by Joseph.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Thanks, Jasmine, for sending them off.
We try to get him home in a reasonable time.
Kareina said that me and Jayden didn't say that. You'll be home tonight.
Anywho. All right, I'm going to start off with the first question to David.
Yeah.
And again, we're just zeroing in that we're talking about the perspective of the parent-in-law and why they operate the way. Are there any rationales for why the way they operate? And so the first question is, can a parent truly be neutral on the partner that their child chooses? So as a single man, I think that question is best posed to you. Can a parent truly be neutral on the partner that the child chooses?
So my answer to this, I'll give you all one time. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The reason I say that, so depending on, now I'll take it from the perspective of a parent who's confident in the decision making of their child. I don't think that they will be as involved in the child's relationship to compared to a parent who has problems with their child's decision making over the period of their life. Right? So if the parent has seen, okay, this child is making bad decisions in school, in work environment, at home, I think the parent would give a less leeway, or should be more involved in their child's day-to-day life or who they see. But if the parent knows, okay, David or whoever is a very capable individual and I trust him to make the best decision with the information that he has on this particular young lady, I think the parent could be neutral about it and kind of accept whoever their child brings into the household. Without being like, let me get to know this person. I know you know my child, but let me get to know you because, yeah. So I think they could be neutral in that.
That's your impression, as Sister Dennis?
No. That's not my impersonation of mother. If you all want one,
No.
100. If you get 100 viewers tonight, you will get one for sure.
Cool.
Wow.
But let me just as I asked about, so in terms of me now, I would say my mom compared to my dad. My mom could become overly involved, and my dad could be like, whoever David brings,
He business.
Yeah, no, not dicey business,
He
but I've
confident
equipped this young man with enough information to make the best decision possible. So my mom to me could come across as, why are you my business for, man? But my dad.
Well, I think the mothering instincts generally is a more nurturing. You know?
Well, yeah. But so that's just a contrast between the two individuals and their two parenting styles.
Understood. So
I hope that answers your question.
No, I hear the answer. You know. I know. I want to challenge it.
Yeah, no problem.
Because I hear they could be neutral, but are they? That's an ideal scenario.
Yeah.
Our parents often neutral because they're human beings. So the same way, they say first impressions last. From the time that girl or that boy walks through the door, they must have a way they feel or think, and as they get to know the person, they must have a way that they think or they feel about this individual.
Right.
I think the question really is, how do they show it or how do they express it?
Okay.
But but what I'm gonna get back at is, could they truly be neutral in terms of the stance towards the to who you select? I don't think they can be. I think you would have a preference.
You have a preference.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I understand what you're saying in terms of neutrality, in terms of the expression, neutrality of expression.
Right. So, I get what you're saying, right? My thing is, the parents should appear to be neutral.
Right.
To the incoming party, that the boyfriend or girlfriend who's coming, you can have a perspective in your head, but it shouldn't automatically all the jump say, my blood intake in, huh? Because you not in no healthcare system, whereby you don't take no blood from no one, right? So you should give the individual a chance to see them in different environments. So that do just some off the bat. I really like he. I really hate he. You don't know this person from nowhere.
Yeah.
Your son or your daughter just brought them home. It's over a period of time interacting with somebody that you get to truly know them, how they react under pressure, how if they could stay calm or whatever the instance is. So to off the bat make a jump of I like them or I don't like them, that is why I think you should be neutral in that instance. Over a period of time, ultimately you will either like them or dislike them.
Kareina, what you have to say?
Kareina, look like Sharon questions to ask.
No.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, sometimes parents may see, or they may see certain, I'll term it red flags for want of a better word, right? They may see certain red flags that you being in that situation, probably so close to the individual, and also trying to give them a chance fairly as you learn them, you grow with them, but an outsider's perspective, I'm just saying that loosely, right? In terms of parents, they may see certain attributes that you may not readily or you don't want to see at that point in time. And sometimes they may want to share with you their perspective without getting involved and showing the person a bad face. Okay. So they could probably give you guidance or some counsel before the relationship, progresses to too serious, right? Or too involved or too long, and without them saying something. Of course, on the part of the parents, you want to ensure that you're not jumping the gun or you're too premature, right? But I think sometimes parents, wise, godly parents who have your best interests at heart and not just want to fight you down or fight down the person, I think sometimes they may be able to give counsel if they see something that could potentially be dangerous. So, it's just something to be open to as well without them being over involved per se.
I definitely get what you're saying, because it's like somebody playing a football match and somebody watching from the stands higher.
Right.
Like it's two different perspectives. Most likely the persons who's watching from the stands have the best view of what's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, and you could say you watch how we see that man to make that pass there. But when you're on the field, listen, things moving quickly, you're like, wow. Ooh,
you're not in position.
You're not in position. You're tired.
You're marking the man.
You're not marking properly.
It's like you running all over. It's like, okay, nah.
So most definitely the parents' perspective would be valuable. If they're right thinking.
Right thinking, yeah. That's
people
a major.
assume that all parents are right thinking, and that's not the case.
That's a major thing. But I just want to say, if you have right thinking, wise parents,
You should listen to them.
you should listen to them. It's a stitch in time saves 9.
Wow. I mean, I'll be the first to admit that, boy, this is one of... We talking about the parents-in-law perspective. I, just by researching this topic, I'm a parent of a 2-year-old. And I'm really looking forward to this juncture in life. I'm really not looking forward to it because that's hard.
Yeah.
That's very hard.
Yeah.
I mean, you consider that you take your time and energy,
stake
your
it,
money.
effort.
You know what happens when you become a parent is like you give up everything, all your dreams, your aspirations, everything now is I'm doing this for this child. I'm doing this for my children. I'm working for my children. I'm doing this for my children. All my future. And then to reach that point and just let go, which a parent must do.
Right.
But to reach that point and just let go, I think it is easier said than done.
But
I think we could at least admit that.
I don't think you probably might always reach a point to letting go though. Because it will always be a child and you still have some kind of, you mightn't have control, but you still want the best for them.
Yeah.
So it mightn't be a complete let go as
Yeah, I
in
don't
really
think
big and
it's
you might
a-
I can't do nothing for you now.
Yeah.
You always still have some kind of advice to give them.
Right.
I think it's hard to let go, but what you could say it is probably a gradual process of weaning but still being there for them. So you're not able to relinquish everything both mentally and relationally, but you can still be there for support and guidance. And I just want to link it back to the whole game play kind of thing. It's almost like you're like coaching by giving counsel, not advice and not strong opinions, but
I thought you was
good
gonna say
counsel.
you have to be like them fellas watching a football match, scream at the screen.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, you can't scream at the player.
Yeah.
You scream at the screen.
Yeah.
Holy ball, boy!
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think you can relinquish everything altogether and just let go. I don't think,
Gotcha.
you know.
So I think the follow-up, the only obvious question to that is, how should a parent respond if they don't like the partner that you choose? And they don't want, I mean, we're talking about a parent
It's just a
here.
relationship. This is not a
This is not a marriage, this is a relationship. A parent, you bring home a boy, you bring home a girl, the parent doesn't like it, but they want to be a good parent. They're looking at the podcast, they want to be a good parent, they want to get their hands off. How do they respond? Understanding that I don't like the person, even if I remain silent, that can have negative impacts upon the relationship, our relationship, my relationship with my child, etc. How do we advise that?
Yeah, good. I was just going to chime in on the chat they did. So Delissa Jones-Joseph is saying, when a parent truly loves their child, they can't stay neutral because love makes them care deeply about anyone who becomes part of their child's life. So outside of Delissa, Kern Chapman is saying that parents have to parents have to understand that we make children for others.
That's thought-provoking. It's not for you. Make the child for you. Make it for somebody
When
else.
I was a child, I spoke as a child. Now that I am a man, that individual is no longer a child but would still be your son or daughter. So, giving some guidance and stuff there. And we want to hear from the others also in the chat. How do you how do you share your what?
So the question again, and we're gonna try to answer it.
Yeah.
Your child brings home somebody, you want to be a good parent and not impact their relationship by your perspective, not have that control over your child decisions, but you don't like the person they bring home. How should you respond? Understanding that even silence can cause tension, because remember this person, this young man, this young lady is coming to try to build a relationship.
Yeah.
And you really don't want a relationship for whatever reason. How should the parent respond?
So I don't think that the parent should remain silent.
Okay.
Right? So I think the parent should talk to his or her child and let them know exactly. You get it off your mind, right? Let your child know, okay, this is why I do not like boyo for you.
Uh-huh.
Because boyo does do X, Y, and Z.
Awesome.
Be very direct in terms of give examples. You remember when boyo came to the house and he did X, Y, and Z, or he wasn't respectful to one of the family members or something like that, or he was aggressive with someone, right? So give instances of where you think the partner or their partner is lacking, but don't just be like, I just really don't like David, or I just really don't like this, because you're not really giving, anybody could find a problem with anybody.
Right.
That's basically what I say.
That's true.
I can find a problem with anybody, somebody bring anyway.
Not a problem with
Can
you.
be an angel. I can say, Kern is the worst of all time. And say nothing about what Kern doing, but I just say he's the worst of all time in different ways.
Yeah.
Right? And do a way he make a real sense, but I never look, that time he say nothing. What Kern is
Nothing factual.
Nothing factual, right? So have actual things that, I think that they don't respect you, the way they speak to you. He or she doesn't keep their word. And just be honest with yourself, because you can't go over the top too as well.
But you are aware though that in sharing that with your child, you inevitably will change the dynamic of even their relationship oftentimes.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. that's what I'm telling you. No, I'm not telling you. No, I'm not telling you to break up with them. But the questions that and the examples I brought to you, you could now carry to them and ask them their perspective of. And don't tell them I tell you that. I was talking with my father, and my father told me, you don't like this about you.
Because they ask you where all this coming from. All of a sudden, where all this coming from?
Just my Bible study with God, these questions. But I'm not telling you to lie. But they
And relying on God too.
You're doing some things.
I was thinking.
I was talking to one. I was speaking to a counselor. My parent can be
one visit.
No. That counselor is booked out. Well, they don't need to know all that backstory. They just need to answer your question. Because at that point in time, they come in Captain Deflecto.
Right.
You're not answering the question. You ask me where I get the questions from. Right? So that is the perspective I think a parent should take it from. That's the healthy way. Not going to your child's partner and say, I don't like you for my son. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Some people bad mind and they'll love your daughter for spite. Right? Now some they'll spoil your daughter. Huh? Yeah, that might, right? So the parent should maintain calm, cool, but still share the perspective with their child. Be honest with them.
Cool.
Yeah, and is similarly, Delissa Jones Joseph again is saying, by letting the child know that I respect your choice and want you to be happy, but also expressing that you have some concerns, but you're sharing out of love, not to control the decision.
Yeah.
And it does, I agree here with her. It takes a level of maturity and a great relationship between the parent and child. So you have to have that relationship with your child.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That is very important.
I want to agree with her as well.
Yeah.
I think it is important in the conversation with your child to have the caveat. I am not saying this to control a decision in any way. I respect your volition to make your own decisions. I'm just sharing it to you with from my experience, my concerns.
Yeah.
And I think as well, when you share your concerns, how you follow up afterward actually prove if you were honest or not in saying that you don't want to control.
Yeah. So, and like somebody is in response to your question, they're saying sometimes when a parent expresses dislike to the person that they with, it forces the child to want to be with that person even more. How can a parent mitigate that risk?
Listen, you can't mitigate that risk. There's a risk to taking by having that conversation with your child.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. And not everything will be in your control, and you just have to accept that as an individual or as a parent. That ultimately the decision is not up to you, it's up to your child to do with the information to do best with the information that you give to them.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking that, you have that level of control, I don't think that's the right perspective.
So let me take the conversation on the next side now.
Mm-hmm.
We kept talking about now a parent who actually likes your partner that you selected. You like the person that your child brought home, but at the same time you still want to be that uninvolved, or you still want to be that non-controlling parent. How do they respond knowing that you really don't want, ideally, that your opinions about their partner be the dominant voice in their head for their selection, for their decision making.
Right. So
Because in so doing, you'd still be controlling.
yes.
Well, would it be
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, you went,
Well,
yeah.
would it be controlling really? I mean, at the end of the day, it would have some sway, right? Especially if your child values, if it's a very good parent-child relationship and they value your opinion would always have a sway.
A weight.
Or weight, right? They will respect you and value your opinion. But I don't think that it will necessarily be controlling, because at the end of the day, they have to make their decision. Would it have some sway from you? Yes. Would you call that controlling them? I don't necessarily believe it will be a controlling decision. It's not a mind control. You're not trying to wipe nobody's brain or subconsciously hypnotize them into making a decision.
But sorry to interject, we are aware of the realities that there are children out there who would come back in the end and say, I was only with this person, and sometimes the relationship doesn't even reach the marriage. And they say, I was only with this person because I thought or I felt that you liked them. You know, so I gave this person. Sometimes this was their type. They were going around this type, and then they came outside of their type and they were in a relationship with this individual simply because the voice of their parents in their head, I think mommy and daddy will like this person.
Well, you have to temper your voice if you know that. You have to temper your voice. You could give approval without being very forceful or vocal, and you leave enough room for your child to come back and be open with you that, you know, having some challenges in the relationship, but whatever. But I don't think that you should be so involved and inundate your child. And, that's one for you now. See you now, white dress, you know. And every time, look, my son-in-law. I see it as soon as he every single time. I mean, you doing that when I'm put added pressure on the situation, you know what I mean? And that is like inundating the whole situation, right? But
and we saying this, very.
No, but people just do that.
People do that all the time. All the time.
Especially in church.
Yeah, it's like, it's true. It's true. Like, they see somebody and that is the one for you.
When they get married, boy,
and they come and dance and now boy. Yeah, all this kind of thing. I'm ready to eat some curry. All kind of
go buy a roti shop in Dabney.
Oh, they want to eat some cake.
They want to eat some black.
Go buy the bakery.
Yeah.
Anything you're feeling for, you can buy. You gotta wait to come my minute. But let me just go back on the Kareina point with like, you shouldn't go over, the parents shouldn't go over the top and let your child's partner do like you really love them. Reason being, you should, if you really love them, I really love that person for my son. But don't let the other person know. The person can get real comfortable. Your mother don't really like me. Anybody else coming here gonna be pressure free. So let you just be honest. And then you just don't mix it up too much. Right? So the parents shouldn't go as on the next end, which if it's advice against relationship, they shouldn't go over the top as well. Like, don't let the next person get too comfortable.
And additionally too, the parent could be wrong. They are not God. So you telling the child, this is the good, and that end up the person that abusing the poor boy or girl. You know, you don't know people like that, and you're not God, so you should never play absolute. In other words, my word is authority, and my word is absolute. So you always want to leave some level of neutrality there to try, you know, allow the person to navigate in that space for themselves. You know, you, as we saying, express your concerns if there are some. You express your approval, affirmation if there are some, but also leave room for that person to prayerfully, under the guidance of the Holy Spirit and their own volition, make that decision. Because they have to live with that person, not you.
And counseling too as well.
Definitely. Good. So David, we go ahead, Chris.
Daniel Josiah is coming in with his perspective. He's saying, have an open, respectful, self-controlled conversation with the child. If the child's position remains the same, then boundaries have to be established and respected and maintained on both sides. I think this is with regards to the concerns part of
the parents had concerns with their child's partner.
Yep. So, the conversation going really nicely, and unfortunately, looking at the time,
Wow.
we're waiting for the guru to come on.
She's
shortly.
coming,
She's
guys.
transit.
She's
But
coming
before
just
she
now.
comes on, David, I want to ask this last question.
Hey.
Do parents go through the emotional roller coaster of breakups with their children?
Probably. Depending on the relationship they had with their partner, they probably, if that were like the person, let me be honest, if that were like the person who you are probably just with and they're not here anymore, obviously your parents are not robots,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
right? So they would feel some kind of sadness, and to the next day they might feel some kind of joy. Oh, good, I'm glad you didn't waste that time good for nothing, man or woman. Right, so I think yes, most definitely your parents could have that emotional heartbreak if you leave somebody that they love for you and just loved as a person. Yeah.
Cool. But I mean, it solidifies in my mind that parents, I always used to say this, parents are human beings as well.
Yeah.
And they are prone to flaws as well as they are emotional as well. So oftentimes, as a young person, you treat your parents like they don't have any emotions. So you can tell your parents, you can be disrespectful to your parents and they should be normal.
Yeah,
because they are parents.
Yeah, you shouldn't raise a voice or lash too hard, sir.
Yeah.
That's unchristian-like.
But as we grow, I think the onus is upon us to recognize that our parents are, to humanize them in our minds, to recognize they are human beings too. And that they like what they like and they don't like what they don't like as well. And they have challenges as well. So you're somebody for 5, 7, 8, 9 years.
Yeah.
And they have those girls are Kareina, have people in relationships.
Sorry.
Yes.
And they've come accustomed to this individual and they, it's a soup night every Wednesday they just come across with soup and when they come they just bring this and let's have a good time. Parents too. And then you decide, sometimes what happens as well is that the parent is not abreast of what's taking place in your relationship, but they have a relationship with your partner.
Yeah.
But your relationship with your partner may have been degraded and the parent did not get the memo.
Yeah.
And then there comes a point in time where you all decide to break up.
And nobody tells nothing.
And I just get to figure this out, and all of a sudden, literally as night turns to day, this boy is no longer coming in my house again and I used to look forward to this, I used to look forward to that, this type of rapport.
Yeah.
And it can be an experience, as you see, it can be a joyful or a sorrowful experience for the parent.
And I think that so that will happen if the child and the parent doesn't talk about the relationship that they have. Like if they were both keeping abreast of the current situation, right? Hey, things ain't looking too good now. Oh my brother, it's looking good now. I will touch you when things get better. So it shouldn't be a sudden good. It was great today and it's horrible tomorrow. It's like it's great today, it was good, then it started.
Nice.
So you just letting them know, okay, things are looking good, going down. It's like somebody getting in an accident and somebody dying from cancer. You know one person is. So you can kind of prepare yourself, but the sudden boom, somebody dies, that would be difficult for anybody to grasp.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Understand, but boy, the reality of it in my mind is that you would want to keep your parents. It's ideal to keep them abreast, but sometimes it's not
it's
ideal.
possible, it's feasible.
And because from my perspective as well is that, remember, I'm trying not to involve them into my decision making. I'm grown. So I'm not trying to tell you, well, she called me last night and she vexed on the phone now. And we get vexed yesterday. I don't want to give you all of that details, but you just see the general context of the relationship. And so I think, even going into the next phase of the topic with the guru, etc., we have to recognize that parents, the children have their emotions and they have their relationships. But the parent has a relationship not only with their child, but they have some sort of relationship, whether good or bad, with the potential even.
Yeah.
And that is undeniable. So parents, for those of you who online never thought about it before, parents do go through the emotional roller coasters, especially when David lying on his pillow crying there in the night. howling like wolf in the moon.
Problem.
The heart hurting for David, but the same time, oh gosh, that's a real good game, boy.
Yeah.
Sometimes they come and chastise the child and all.
Yeah.
You messed,
Oh,
you
boy.
messed up, boy.
You messed it up, boy. You messed up. Congratulations, David. You brought it up again.
Kern Chapman is saying as humans, there's a possibility that they may. So they're speaking about parents feeling, emotions and going through the breakup as well. Maybe if the parent and son or daughter have a relationship, there would be times when things are shared, and that speaks to keeping them abreast. But certain things play out sometimes in life. Jasmine is saying, no, I don't think parents do go through that emotional roller coaster because they are not as invested, in my opinion. Most times they don't know the nitty-gritty of their kids' relationship.
That's what you think, Jasmine.
Saying sharing only the bad. When the kiddies get back together, the parents still vexed in what they
That is true. So you had a balance of sharing enough and not sharing too much.
Yeah.
Because
you will forgive, but your mother, she forgiven me.
And oftentimes we share the height of emotion.
Right.
So we share the height of negative emotion when things get real bad. So you blow off the handle and you tell your parents, you tell your family how he or she behaved. Or we share the height of positive emotion. It was euphoric. It was real good. The height of negative emotion, they leave with that sting, with that bad taste. And the truth is, you have the chance firsthand to talk to them and get that closure. But the other people not getting that closure.
Yeah.
So that is another reason why you should be very judicious about who you share, how much you share. So guys, thanks for Kareina. You wanted to say something? Go ahead.
What?
No, there are not some people in the chat. Right?
No, that's good.
All right. So guys, we're gonna take a very short break. When I say very short,
it's not even a break.
So while we break, just keep putting your opinions, your stuff in the chat. We're looking at them. We're gonna bring on our guru in just about 30 seconds. So David, thanks for teasing us out with us.
No problem.
The single perspective on getting into a relationship. The emotional roller coasters, parents being neutral. Can they be neutral? Can they not be neutral? How should they express all of that? We're going to get into the next segment shortly with Kizzy King Chapman.
Nice.
Back with our guru again, Kizzy King Chapman, looking radiant as ever and ready to give us all of the gems. You guys loved her so much. So thanks so much for accepting again to be back with us.
Definitely. So guys, we again, just to remind you, for those of you who are just jumping on, we're talking about the parents' perspective, the parent-in-law's perspective. On their involvement, should they be involved? I just want to start off with that question. You're in studio listening in. Anything you wanted to mention from the first?
I just saw, we're talking about, the involvement and so forth of the parents. And we're just talking about a relationship, the reason why the parent might be, kind of cut up about a relationship going south, or going sour. Is because they wasn't telling them what was happening.
Yeah.
But that's a problem too, because the thing is, let's say you decide you have this relationship, right? And every step of the way you telling mommy and daddy, and then you get married, and you don't want mommy and daddy involved.
Yeah, it's true. You set that.
Remember what we say, right?
Yeah.
Don't start something you don't want to continue.
Yeah.
Right? So I was wondering, if if you start doing that with the parents, and you start everything, you start saying, everything happening, good, bad, indifferent, you're telling the parents, then they would expect that
from marriage,
in the marriage.
In the marriage.
And then they want to know what you're playing now before before you come and across
I
for
was
soup
here for
every
somebody,
Wednesday,
yeah.
and all of a sudden you don't eat soup,
Yeah.
right?
I'm allergic to the green thing. So just to dovetail on that one time, children oftentimes we blame the parents for being involved. But we see here, based upon this discussion, that sometimes the children getting the parents involved.
Yeah.
What would be your advice to a parent-in-law who the children are the ones always pulling them into their stuff?
Right. So there's a difference between support and control. We talked a lot about boundaries the last time.
Yeah.
And boundaries need to be set even in that context. So even if the children are asking you to, be involved, your advice, whatever, they're asking for help, you still have to set those boundaries as a mother-in-law or father-in-law. You have to ask, how far they want you to go.
Right.
Right? What do you need? Right? Child play. Do you need me to tell you how to raise your children? Or do you need me to
Wow.
or do you need me to just take care of them in the afternoons when you're not working? So you need to have boundaries. As mother-in-law, as father-in-law, you need to set boundaries as well. You need to be able to speak to your children. Okay, yes, this is a problem that's happening. You've come to me, right? But what really do you need from me? Right? Because sometimes people, I mean, I know, we know the mother-in-law dynamic. We also, they have jokes all over the internet and so forth about that. Do you want me to talk to your wife? Do you want me to just listen? You just want a sounding board?
Yeah.
Right? Are you just venting? So the thing is that you also have to establish as the in-law, what is it that my child, right, my son or daughter wants from me, right? So you can support,
Right.
but not meddle.
Right.
So what do you say then to the child who, when asked the question, they want you to meddle? Because there are children who want their parents' involvement because, I don't know,
They probably feel like they can't deal with it.
sometimes they're too coward
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
to deal with certain things, and mommy, you go and do so, and they give the parents too much liberty.
Too much
And
authority,
likewise, you have parents who take too much liberty as well.
Right.
In that, I don't like how he talk to my daughter, and you go in to
Tell him something.
to tell him. I know I have to tell him. Yes, I have to. So
That's my child. He know how she come here.
You understand?
Oh.
You tell him that
But
I'm going home across right now.
We must all respect the fact that it is a marriage.
Yeah.
God has put that together, and therefore, meddling is not something that we should practice. Parents should not practice meddling in their children's marriage, whether they're asked to or not. Right? You have to set boundaries because the marriage has to grow with the husband and the wife.
Right.
Right? Yes, you are kin, and yes, when children come, you have that shared kinship. However, that marriage is important, blessed by God, and therefore the two individuals in the marriage, they have to work together, and they have to surmount all the problems together, all the issues together, the trials together, the triumphs together. And it is very easy to, as a parent, to want to guide your children to the right path. But the truth of the matter is, this is their marriage, and you may want to put it in your perspective and maybe, set it down a pathway that you prefer. But at the end of the day, it's their marriage. It's really them.
Reason that a parent-in-law should or could get involved in their child's in-laws marriage.
Yeah, respectfully, yes. let's put aside abuse, right? And even speaking to that, right? You don't go like you say, the father go and say, see, you make any child,
Yeah.
you know?
You know how she come?
Right. So let's say let us say you are the parent and you're talking to your child, and you say, Kizzy, I see how you're talking to Kun, right? Maybe you should temper your words better, or you know, not buff them up like if there's a child.
All of them is your children.
All of them, everybody's your children.
Yeah.
Right? Or you decide, here's what I want to catch them. I want to catch him when he talking to Shin in any kind of way. So you're just walking into the house, or
And they're talking and they're watching in the corner of your eye.
right,
You're waiting for that
moment. So you can offer words of advice, right? So there, as I said, support is different to meddling, right? Sometimes couples need support, right? Even to navigate things, because generally your parents would have gone through some of these things, right? And they can give some really good advice, right? And sometimes, you know, sitting and talking together and sharing really helps. But what happens is that so Jayden, your eye would have caught Kareina long before your family and parents and things realize that your eye catching Kareina, right?
Yes.
So by the time your eye don't catch anything,
And you see the size of my eye, catch good.
you're now starting to figure this out. You've decided, you've made this choice, but this choice has been really thrown on them, right? As Clint said in the wisely said in the chat, right? You really don't make your children for yourself, right? You make them for somebody else.
I like that.
But a lot of times parents don't realize where parenting ends, right? You really once your children have got married, they have their own home, and your level of input is really just for support, right? It should not be you controlling their marriage. You have your own marriage, or had, or whatever. This is their family, and therefore they have to be able to navigate and to make their mistakes as couples and as a couple, make their mistakes as parents. You know, the thing is that as in-laws, sometimes we don't realize that where we are now, right, is based on our experiences and the mistakes that we made and so forth. And therefore the couple, sometimes you want to let them fast forward, don't make the mistakes we made. But it's their marriage, and we really do have to let them support, right? And if there's something that's really, really, you see them going into a brick wall, right? You can't say, well, you know, I'm seeing something, what do you think? Ask some questions and so forth. Respectfully. And if your son or daughter says, Mommy, you need to back off respectfully, or Daddy, you need to back off respectfully, back off prayerfully. Because at the end of the day, it is their marriage.
So we're still speaking about the topic, the perspective of the parents-in-law, not the child-in-law, but the parents-in-law. And I'm gonna pose a scenario. Kareina, I want your perspective on it, then I want to hear the guru. You have one child, and you have amassed a great fortune, and you've put all your life's energy into preparing this child to inherit this great fortune. But the person that they have selected has proven to be a gambler or somebody with some sort of vice that you have good reason to believe that they will destroy certainly the fortune if they get their hands on it. How as a parent you deal with this? Because you're looking at stewardship now. You went to the stewardship class in church, right? And they give you all the lessons about, you know, the earth is the Lord's and multiply the talents and all these things. And you did it judiciously. You have one picnic now. You have one piece. How do you treat with such a situation? Let me hear you, Kareina. Because you are one piece. Let me hear you.
Did you talk to your child before?
That's me?
No, because
She's trying to establish the parameters of this.
yeah. I am hoping that counsel would have been given prior to this. Is a marital relationship that they've entered into here?
Yeah, they're going to get married.
They're going to get married. Okay,
Yeah.
we have hope then.
Yeah, no, in other words, you're advising the child, but you don't want to, remember, you're trying not to use
Is the child
this
aware?
inheritance, this estate,
Right.
this big,
So you're trying to say, hey, what now? Cutting you off if you're married.
right. You're trying not to use
Hold
it
it
as
over
a
there.
tool for control. But at the end of the day, we're speaking about the parent's perspective.
Yeah.
And how do I deal with that? So let's personalize it. How do I deal with something like that?
I don't think...
I don't want to,
No, hear
I
this,
don't
hear
want
this,
to
hear this.
use
Wait,
it like a
hold on.
carrot to,
Yeah, I understand.
to manipulate you, but at the same time, I mean,
So, yeah, hold on.
it's going to
hold
go
on.
to waste.
Wait, hold on. I don't think you all will want me back on the podcast if I truly say,
Say it as it is.
Say
you know,
Say it
I
plain.
mean, no, I don't think that would be good.
Say it. This is okay,
No, you
guys.
cannot take them out.
This is
Karina. You
Karina's
cannot take them out.
I can't figure out.
This is Karina's perspective.
You know, it would be a phased approach, right? A phased approach to dealing with the situation. My goodness, I don't have the time to deal with this, but it's before marriage. I would have that conversation. You know, I'm noticing some red flags. I have a very serious conversation with my child, right? And I would also give them some time to think about it and let me know what their decision is, right? Knowing me, most likely I would have disclosed to them about the fortune, or I'm working towards whatever. I'll be sharing that with them because at the end of the day, I, myself and the child's father would want to be having a legacy, want to be leaving a legacy for them. So something that you're growing the child into also and having them grow up in stewardship principles, right? But I would have a conversation with them, share with the child, this is totally a red flag and something I'm not pleased with, and I will share with them all concerns because you're preparing for marriage. After marriage, I can't say nothing about it. But what I could control is what I do with the fortune that I was intending to give to you, but it was conditional. So the condition was, right? I had some muttering from the studio. The condition was that, obviously, you choose
serve
somebody,
God
you serve God, and the person that you choose to also lines up in the principles that this legacy that belongs to God will not go into their rusty, muddy, grubby, gambling fingers. Right?
That's very descriptive.
So the
Rusty, muddy.
I will not be giving them that fortune to amass with their spouse, because at the end of the day, when you enter into a marital relationship,
Well, do you give them some?
when you enter into a marital relationship, my brothers and sisters, I can't have no control if I give you anything, how you spend it as your parent giving it to you and withering it away and what was meant for the Lord's kingdom and stuff like that. I don't have no say, no. I have say before because they only ain't married as yet. So I am giving you your chance to figure that out. And if not, I am sorry, but I will put it in trust to the church, the conference, the world church, give it to Advent Health, Loma Linda. I will distribute it before I die. Because at the end of the day, what you are proving to me is that I taught you certain principles and you have now strayed from the principles. And let's be real, let's be frank. Sometimes people stray from the principles. Sometimes children stray. Sometimes children decide that, hey, that way is not the way that I want to be continuing in
Yeah.
anymore.
Or let me just put a
And-
little insert there.
Wait, you put in a, I'm going off on a tangent, right? And at the end of the day, at the end of the day,
Nuri is only 2, eh?
at the end of the day, you have disconnected yourself from this, and it's something that that's what I'm telling you, podcast mightn't see me here next month, right? At the end of the day, you have disconnected yourself, and not only from the principles, but the godly upbringing and stuff like that. It is very big, in my opinion. The spouse that you choose and the career path that you choose, and serving God. 3 major life decisions, no compromise. So that's my perspective. It will be distributed far and wide.
So
I would leave something for you to take care of
They would
yourself
say a
and stuff.
10%. A tight.
But I'm not leaving the entire fortune thing that was supposed to be, you know, meant for God. No.
So what
sorry.
the point I just wanted to insert there is that, you know, you say that, you know, the life that they chose. Sometimes somebody, I think his dad always say, there was a pastor, I think it's Pastor Mitchell, who used to say, the person that you choose is a reflection of who you are spiritually at that point in time.
Okay.
And so it may not necessarily be that that is the entire life that they choose, but at that point in time, maybe they were going through a depression, maybe they had some identity crisis, but at that point in time, they chose that individual. And we have to be aware of that as well. If we choose, when we are choosing somebody, you have to be aware of where you are in life, cognitively, experientially, emotionally, spiritually, because all these things go into how you select and who you select. And so it may be that at that point in time, that person just was not a good space, and they selected somebody out of trauma or whatever the case may be.
Sorry,
No.
go ahead. You go ahead.
The thing is, that's mommy and daddy money, you know,
Yeah.
right? So mommy and daddy can do whatever they want with their money,
Right.
right?
So let's we get to
Right?
your perspective now.
So the
This
thing is,
what
they
I-
can do whatever they want with their money and so forth. As a parent, they can say, here's what, you have not fulfilled the requirements, right? Whether it is spiritually, right, or otherwise. And they can choose to put the money in a trust and, you know, different things. Maybe when the children, if you have children, then the children get money to protect, because we also have to understand that the marriage is not, yes, it's your marriage, but it's also your parent, because your parents are human too, you know.
Right.
It's their marriage as well, and
Yeah.
it's their legacy as well. The same way that you are protecting your legacy by making sure you have boundaries in your marriage and so forth. They have to do the same thing,
Right.
right? But sometimes we don't see that. We see them as separate entities. It's a family, it's a marriage as well, and they
Right.
have to protect. They have to protect themselves and their unit, their kin, as well. Especially if they see that, you know, something is not what it should be. It's just like having a child who is on drugs, right, or someone who's you have to put things in
Wow.
place, right?
You light up my choice of a life partner with a child on drugs.
No, but the thing is, but he said he's a gambler.
Right, it's true.
You understand?
Yeah,
He's a gambler. It's a gambler. It's an addiction.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and the same way that you will have to protect, the same way you have to protect your family, right? They have to protect their family
Yeah.
as well. Your parents.
So
right?
I want to throw you a curveball, and we just touch on this and go, because there's a whole other topic for another time. What about if you have 2 children and one of them is doing well, the other one is with the gambler? What do you do with that inheritance?
I always think that the inheritance things should go into a trust, right? And you put your different, instead of, it should not be used to dangle to say,
So nobody gets nothing?
Jim, if you're married again, you get nothing.
No, well, that wasn't the intention.
Right.
The
But the thing
intention
is-
is to give them.
Right, so give them it with the conditions that you want to give it. If I have something and I want to give, if I have cake and I want to give to Kareina, right? It's cake that I'm going to give, and I'm going to give it conditions. Once I've given it,
Yeah, you don't have nothing to say.
Right.
right?
Gotcha.
But I have all rights, and your parents have all rights to have the conditions in which they're going to give you. The thing is, we always want to be treated equally until equality is not working, and then we want
Yeah, not
equity,
working for me.
right? Because even relationships, let's say, in terms of in-laws, you may have several marriages in a family, right? So you have the mother-in-law, father-in-law, and you have 3 children. 3 of them get married, right? And you have the first one who get married. The first son he get married. He nice, his wife nice, everything nice. Oh gosh, just come across every Sunday. They have right. The second one get married. Oh gosh, things real nice. The wife working a big work and things, so she's bringing things to the mom. And the third one get married, and you don't ever see them. They feel that the girl don't like them, and whatever. And then you start to have little problems also in in-laws, not just parents, but among the siblings. Right, so you have where one daughter-in-law might think that the mother-in-law don't like me, or the mother-in-law might think that I like this one better. What we have to understand, and we touched on that last time, is that every relationship is different, right? And we have to appreciate what are the strengths in the relationships that we have, in terms of. Even as a mother-in-law, father-in-law, you have to understand you cannot treat everybody equally because relationships do not require the same efforts, right? So you can't buy everybody a black watch because I know Kareina like black watches, but if I buy the black watch for Kareina, I have to buy for everybody else because everybody will feel. You can't have a relationship like that because it's not going to, you're not going to have that nitty-gritty of.
And the truth is, sometimes parents understand this, but children don't.
No, because they are the ones feeling it.
Yeah. So you say, in other words, a parent has some children. They have 3 children, and everybody will say, "Mommy like this one the most," And parents is like, I love all of you all the same. I was like, no, you don't.
You love all of us.
No, this one is always be lying on your bed.
What you say and what you do are incongruent.
And then the parent is like, yeah, but each child requires treatment differently. This child is more mentally feeble, so this child, I need to cradle this child a little bit more. So a parent understanding that now coming into the context of being an in-law, and maybe the child-in-law doesn't understand. I want to find a better phrase than child-in-law, right?
But we say parents-in-law.
So your child's spouse doesn't quite understand that dynamic as well. So that is not necessarily a flaw on the parent's part, although the child may be feeling this way. But it's just that the parent understands just how I function with my children. This one required this from me, separate differently from this. The same thing with the in-laws. I have different types of relationship with all of that. And parents, in-laws can find themselves being the target of naysaying simply because they're just trying to treat people accordingly.
And sometimes too, sometimes people give what they get, right? From people, they reciprocate, so they have some, I chill with you, you cool with me, we share, we have a good relationship, but you ain't really feeling to go out on a limb with another person who closed up and trying to get involved.
This one talkative, so let's talk with this one.
So
that one quiet.
Treat you the same way, Maybe they like to be quiet, so you don't encroach, and you're just trying. Basically, people just try to figure things out as they go,
But I have a question.
Oh my God.
Wow. How the tables too.
Right, I have a question, right?
I got a question.
So, we are hoping that, the parents-in-laws are persons who are logical thinking and, they would, have boundaries and so forth. But do we think that there are parents-in-laws who just really just don't care about boundaries and they just want to control and so forth? And I think that we have a lot of that happening because even our culture, we're not a boundaries kind of people,
No.
right?
Even the way we build
Even our culture, right? Okay, look
no boundaries, by way.
At the first part of the podcast, we're talking about church. Right? I remember when I was growing up in church and by the time I was in my 20s, every time I finished sing, or before saying that this is Kizzy King and she's single.
Yeah.
Right? So the meddling comes from,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like the advertising.
And then when they when will they get married? When will they get married? Right? And when they get married, when they have that child?
Yeah.
And then when they have two.
It's never finished,
right?
never done.
Yeah.
And then we have more than 2 or 3. So,
Oh,
gosh, time to stop.
right?
Or
The
on
thing
TV.
is- right. So then, culturally, it's meddlesome. A lot
Yeah,
of, people
yeah.
like to talk about your marriage,
Yeah.
and they like to say, oh gosh, so why I didn't do this? Why I can't do that?
Everybody else have an opinion.
Yeah, everybody has an opinion about your marriage, right? And then there's a thing that happens with in-laws, right? With older women.
Tell us.
You have no grandchildren yet? Want to them children,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So they're getting pressure.
So they're getting
from their
pressure as well,
peers.
right? Now the thing is, the couple, they may think, okay, well, here's what they may be trying to have children, but they can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They may decide, stay off
Yeah.
having children for a while, or whatever the reason. But they have not discussed it with anybody else because
No,
it's not really
not a
anybody else's
business.
business, right? And then people start to, and even in-laws, they start to form opinions about your relationship
Right.
based on what they might have known on about their child before their child got married,
Right.
right? And in-laws need to be very, very careful about that, because forming these opinions and then running with them causes quite a lot of problems. That's one.
Right, yeah.
2, we also have to understand that the in-laws are under pressure as well, right? Because sometimes we look at it is our relationship. It's just me and my spouse, and it's us against the world and so forth. But the family is also affected, and sometimes when people can be very, very intrusive. How come we don't see them children? Am I wrong by you these days, girl? Right?
Yeah.
And then maybe their friends have a better relationship with their in-laws as well, children. So the thing is, it's so much more than the couple. But advice to the in-laws: you have to respect that they are married,
Yeah.
and therefore that's their unit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we also have to think, hey, we are part of a wider society.
Right. So there's some level of individuality in terms of the family as a couple, but they are also a part of a larger context, which is community.
Yes.
And we can't deny both. So in other words, what I'm hearing you saying is that there must be some interconnectedness, but there must
Correct.
also be boundaries.
Yes.
In terms of establishing your unique unit.
So it's a balance.
Yes. It's a tricky balance,
Yes, it's
one
a
that
very
plenty
tricky
people don't
balance.
get.
Yeah.
But
It's a
we
tricky
have to always work at getting that balance. As we begin to wrap up, I like where you said about the senior citizens sitting in the galleries, talking about the grandchildren and where you have any grand, how much great grand you have. Is that great grand and stuff? I've noticed something. I was in the grocery some time ago, and this gentleman, random guy, I don't know him, he just came up to me and we bounced up in the lane concerning some item, and he just started to tell me about all what his children doing. I one there in the States, she's a doctor, and the next one,
Yep.
and
Show you pictures, something? You show pictures?
no.
Sometimes they have pictures in
Yeah,
the wallet.
Yeah, they have pictures I want to show you and stuff,
Yeah.
and I like to humanize people and humanize interactions, and the humanity in that is that this guy might have been out of timing and real verbose and out there, but the truth is he's simply a father feeling proud,
Yeah.
and he's a human being. He's proud of his daughter, his children. He's proud of his son who went out there and is making it.
Yeah.
And the truth of it is that as we humanize people and as we humanize the parents-in-law, recognizing that they go through a lot of the turmoil with their children in the relationships, with their children in the selection, the success or failure, they go through it as well as a community, whether they like it or not. We come into the point of the recognition that parents may also have emotional baggage.
A lot.
Parents may have abandonment issues.
And so I want to paint a scenario and get your take on it as we begin to wrap up.
Before I paint a scenario, I want to make a statement. There's something I saw. It said, be kind and gracious to your mother because she is experiencing this for the first time too.
Oh wow, nice.
And we have to understand that they are experiencing this for the first time too. It's a change that is strange, right? From you being my confidant, my mommy and I was just everything. She's my best friend, and then I get married, and now my husband's my best friend. You know? Right? So
that ties right into the scenario actually, where you have a single parent home, and you have a mom who grew up a child. Maybe it's her only child, maybe it's not, but they were close to their child, and now this child is getting married. You have a lot of emotions that's taking place. I can imagine someone is listening to the podcast and their child is about to get married.
Yeah.
And they want to cry.
Yeah.
Some of them cry a lot. At the wedding, before the wedding, during, after the wedding.
Yeah.
You know. 3 years after currency. You know? So that is a reality that parents face.
Yeah.
In the context of scenario, solo child, single parent, your child is now going off to leave. How do you advise a child to manage that parent and their scenario? Understanding this in my little scenario in my head, mommy and daddy were married, had a little divorce or a big divorce. Mommy is already alone.
Yeah.
She's feeling abandoned. You know, her parents, she's of the age where the parents are deceased, and she spent her whole life just taking care of me. She devoted it to me. Now I'm at the point where I'm saying to mommy, I'm leaving.
Yes.
Mommy has emotions.
And she will feel that way too.
Yes.
Mommy has emotions. As a child, how do I navigate that space with care and love for mommy?
As an entity, both you and your spouse or spouse-to-be need to talk to that, right? Because it must not be a decision that you alone make. It has to be a decision that you and your spouse make together, or your spouse-to-be makes together, right? And we come back to boundaries. So you can't have what they're in between all the threads of the tapestry of your marriage, right? But you can, especially in terms of parents who, you know, would have been accustomed to certain patterns of behavior, you would need to set up times when, you know, you would be, you would be visiting them, or you know, developing new patterns that would help them along, but also creating a boundary for your marriage. So it's like, let's say you decide, you know, every Sunday afternoon we would we would go out visit, or we go for a drive, you know. But you have to make those things clear.
Okay.
Because let's face it, a lot of times people think that marriage is it's just you get married and your life is it's normal, you know. But the thing is, you're really a different person. You are embarking in something new. Right, I don't want to say it's like it's a job, but it's a new job. It's a new portfolio. You're traveling to a new, you're moving, you're basically uprooting your life, right? And so things are going to be different. So therefore, it is a moment of loss.
Right.
But it's also a moment of gain. And depending on how the families feel about each other, they will go to a wedding and they will say, you know, I've gained a daughter. And some people say, oh my God, he's taken my daughter, because I've been to weddings where you've heard the two things in the speech, right? So you really have to be gracious to your parents, especially those who, in that situation, you know, who would have suffered loss, who their lives have been wrapped up in creating and forming bonds with their children and so forth. You have to have a conversation as well with your parent, right? A lot of times it happens a lot with mothers because that nurturing and so forth, and sometimes mothers think that their purpose in your marriage is to protect the son, right, and make sure that he's being I guess not mummied, but properly, well taken care of. So you really have to have that conversation, and you have to have a conversation with your spouse. A lot of times, persons try to fix things by themselves. Now, we also have to understand that if there's an issue with your family, your spouse's family, you are not supposed to be the go-between. Right? Because if anything goes south there, you are the one to blame.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right? But you offer support to your spouse, and you also make sure you have that line of communication, right? And also, if there is some sort of problem with your in-laws, and you know that your mother don't like the fella, every time you do something bad, don't go and tell your mother, you see, he do this, he do that, because that doesn't help the situation.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think, it was a healthy discussion just as the last time, and we recognize that parents have trauma. And sometimes it's not just even situational in that moment, but sometimes trauma that they would have grown up with.
Correct.
Situations with their parents. So they may have had abandonment issues because maybe their father left the home, different scenarios.
So their own marriage.
Their own
in-law
in-laws,
problems, right? So
Yeah.
they don't know, they don't have an idea of how to
be.
How to be.
So
How to function.
So let me just clarify. You are saying that the couple, the children-in-law,
Right. The offspring-in-law.
the offspring-in-law, the offspring and the in-law should discuss what their commitment and interaction would be like to
Yes.
support the
Yes.
parent-in-law,
And then
Correct.
communicate
that to them,
to the parent. Let them know
so that they
you're
can,
not
the heart
alone.
can rest a
You
little
understand?
bit.
You're not alone. We're not leaving you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, sometimes you don't have to say, well, daddy did how long and taking you alone, so you come every Sunday, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean
It could be fluid too, you know.
very,
It could be fluid.
So you
and-
establish that, mommy, what you think about, we
Yeah.
come in, okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Sundays is our-
Yeah.
So there needs to be a discussion, but with the couple first,
Yeah.
right, and then with the in-law.
I mean,
Because some even parents age. Obviously, everybody is aging.
Yeah.
And aging is something that you have to deal with
Correct.
as a couple, right? And especially if the parents is by themselves.
yeah.
You have to discuss too how you will care for your mom. She can't care for herself anymore. Your dad, right? They're living by themselves.
And that agent comes with fears too.
Yes.
Personal fears.
Right. So would we take care of them? Would we have a room dedicated for them to come and stay with us? Is that something that we are willing to do or take on as a couple? And those are things that you have to talk about and you have to decide from early on. Or would we have paid care for
Right,
them?
because remember we said,
Yeah.
don't ever live, David said that, don't ever live with in-laws. But
Yeah.
somebody gets sick,
Under
They
right?
have
those
to come,
circumstances.
for a period of time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a real consideration, even as we age, and a serious consideration at that. And then how to mitigate meddling when the person is in your house now under these circumstances, and they may not be able to control some emotions at that point in time. They might get down in age and they're feeling ill, unwell,
Yes.
and they can't control their emotions as they may have usually done, and things start to get difficult. That's another thing to manage as a couple, and
Because,
that
I mean,
dynamic.
if it wasn't clear enough, let me just state that as persons get older, they as Kizzy said, they're doing this for the first time.
Yeah.
And they have emotions that are attached to that. They
Very
become
much so.
fearful. They become fearful about the future, about who's going to take care of them if their partner passes away. And some level of reassurance on the children's part can go a long way. Mommy, I'm here for you. Don't worry, we'll figure it out. I already spoke to Kareina. You know, and we talk about what are the possibilities if
correct.
daddy should, you know.
Yeah.
We spoke about that already, so don't worry here. Those things go a long way in allowing a person's heart to rest. You know, and I think we owe it to our parents to be there for them and to be compassionate to them. You know, they say once a man, twice a child.
True.
And you would recognize that one day the child has to take on the role, not
Correct.
to parent,
Yeah.
but the role as a parent would have in caring for.
And I think also for older couples.
Yeah.
So for example, and I mean like persons who are getting married later.
Yeah.
So let's say you have someone in their 40s getting married and they've been living with their parents all along, right? And they're part of their whole ecosystem is their parents. That's also a difficult transition, even more difficult than a younger
Yeah.
younger couple getting married. And I mean chronologically younger. So so you also have to look at that,
Yeah.
right? Because you may have to really incorporate parents a little more in that situation, because at that point they're not strong enough to let go, because they have been holding on to their child who's been living there with them, you know, all along. So as you said, grace.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So we're going to take closing statements, Kareina, KZ, and then I would close us out. Kareina, after all is said, we had part 1 and part 2. Part 1 spoke about the child-in-law or offspring-in-law and their perspective of the parents getting involved. And part 2, we spoke about the parents-in-law and the reasons why they get involved, some of their fears, some of the realities. What are your closing sentiments?
My closing sentiments are, at the end of the day, it's a prayerful decision that persons have to make. If you have prayerful parents, it is my advice that before you embark upon a marital union and relationship, listen to guidance, hearken on to guidance prayerfully. At the end of the day, you still have to make your own decisions, and you have to live with the consequences of the decisions that you make, or the rewards of decisions that you make. Also, on the part of in-laws, it is important and crucial, and hardened in-laws who are listening to me now, it is a marital relationship, covenant, bond. Ensure that you abide by those laws.
You're not a part of it.
In-laws whom you know, you're doing the right thing, you keep supporting, you keep being there for your daughter, son-in-law, and your child, because at the end of the day, it's a communal agency or entity, the marital unit or bond and family. Keep supporting, keep being there, prayerfully supporting as well. And something that I really want to say, at the end of the day, each marital unit has their rite of passage. Each unit deserves that. When persons sign up to be married and they take that vow, they deserve the autonomy to have that rite of passage and make decisions together as a unit under God. So allow every unit that freedom to do so under God. So that is what I have to say. Boundaries were a big thing we talked about, and that basically sums it up for me.
Beautiful. Kern, you have anything to say?
By the way, I did see Kern Joseph in the chat, so big up you, Kern, for messaging the chat. But Kern Chapman, you have anything to
Somebody get Kern out like that. Cool.
I think being an in-law is quite, I mean, you have to manage family dynamics, you have to, you know, boundaries, all of these things. But I just want in-laws to know, let go. That's the first thing. You have to let go, right? Let go, right?
All right.
Just recognize that your child is an adult, right? And therefore, it's their life and they have to make their own decisions, right? Next thing, respect boundaries. Respect boundaries. They're there for a reason. Don't overstep. Don't offer unsolicited advice. All right, it's not solicited. All right, okay, right? If she's put ketchup in her macaroni pie, right? And you don't, leave it alone, right?
In or on? Because it matters. If you're committing that sin,
Support, sir. Support, don't control, be there for them, for the couple, but let them make their own decisions. Right? Let them make support, but let them make their decisions.
Yeah.
Decision is not for you to make, right? And also build a relationship. Focus on building a relationship with your child's partner. Because you have a relationship with your child, right? So focus on building that relationship prayerfully, all right? And focus on the positives. Because if we all focus on negatives, right, we would always be in conflict.
yeah.
So prayerfully, right, and be introspective as well, right? Prayerfully focus on those 4 areas, and with God, all things are possible.
Praise God, praise God. Thank you so much, Kizzy. Thanks, David. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Thanks, Kareina.
Thanks, Jayden.
Yeah. The last thing I would just put my 2 cents in there to join the chorus and say, the Bible tells us, for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined together with his wife, and the 2 shall become one. There's a reason that you came, mother-in-law, father-in-law, friends, siblings, you came to the church and you witnessed a covenant that was made between 2 people and God. You weren't a part of that covenant.
True.
The covenant was made between 2 people and you were there to witness it.
Yes.
And your duty to God is to respect that covenant. And so we want to encourage you to let go, to back off. We recognize it is painful. It can be hurtful. Situations are difficult. But if you have to stand by what the Word of God says, you must allow a marriage to operate under the guidance of each other and God. Thank you for joining us. Until next month, we'll see you here again on the Merge Podcast. Remembering we are always better together.
Better with you.
Good night.
Good night.